Yes, guys, welcome to another show. This is the Liverpool ranking show. We're going to rank every player this season. So, guys, we've got a packed house as well. Great guests to go through this. So, I'll go live right now. Guys, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Liverpool show. Tonight, we're going to be debating and rating the Liverpool players so far this season, and I can't do this on my own. So, I've got the A team in to help me. I've got Enz, I've got Cal, I've got Ben. But first, Enz, been a while, man. How you been?
I've been all right, man. Long day at work as always, man. But looking forward to this one, man. I'm looking forward to it. Got a great panel actually. So this should be interesting. This should be very interesting.
Definitely. Cal, how you doing, man? Saw the show last night?
I'm good, bro. Say again, sir?
Saw the show last night. Shabby along.
Yeah, a bit of a tasty one, that one, isn't it? No, I'm good, man. Thank you for having me again. Always a pleasure. Big up yourself, Enz, man, and nice to meet you for the first time as well, bro.
Yeah, you too, mate.
And Ben, how you doing, mate? I saw your episode. I think it was last month with Sammy Lee. Great show.
Yeah.
How you doing? Well,
yeah, no, that was really good experience to speak to Sammy. But yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. It's good that we're doing this time around because we did a similar stream on the TAT pod last season, and I think it was Alisson and Salah in the top tier, and everyone else was pretty much in the bottom too. So this time around, hopefully, we'll have a few more faces in the good tiers. So
I think I've got a feeling the same two might be in the same position.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
Might be a few more with them as well.
Yeah, nothing much changes. Before we get started, guys, I just want to know from all of you how you feel Liverpool season started. Ends. How do you feel about this sort of new Liverpool team at the moment, new midfield and Klopp and everything that's going on so far?
I'm happy, man. What can I say? At the start of the season, people called me crazy. I was like, no, I think we can challenge. I thought we could win the title. Whether we need to add a bit more to make sure we solidify that, but I'm looking at the team. Man City aren't as strong. Arsenal, they're not the same Arsenal from last season. Yes, they are winning games, but they don't look the same. Tottenham obviously started really well, but now they're crumbling as always. We're 1 point off at this stage. With 12 games in, yes, there's plenty of games left to play. But 1 point off, we're saying we need a 6. We've only lost 2 games so far this season, and both to do with a bit of VAR, you'd say. Tottenham one, definitely. To lose one, I don't know. We'll chalk that one down, but we've only lost 2 games, and both games VAR was to play a part. Other than that, we look good, man. I think we've got the best defensive record as well. Don't quote me on it. I'm sure I saw something around that, but we'll see. Strikers are scoring goals. Midfielders are shooting from outside the box. Sure is a great sight.
Always nice.
It's a great sight, man. Listen, when they shoot, I'm so happy because I saw my team last season. No one wanted to shoot or had the capability, and now this season, I'm just happy, man. Gravenberch is there. Listen, I'm happy, bro. Long may this continue.
Yeah, I agree. Cal, how do you think the team's going on so far?
I'll be honest, I've got to echo a lot of what Enzman said. I still don't think we've even hit our full stride yet, which is that for me is exciting, because if we actually really start picking up form and really start putting teams to the sword, we could really be a force to be reckoned with. But at the same time, Arsenal and Man City haven't, in my opinion, found that killer instinct in form as well. So I think whoever finds that first is going to really put themselves in a advantageous position. That being said, though, just sticking with Liverpool, I'm extremely happy. I think they've gone above and beyond what my expectations were for this team at this stage. I was worried with regards to the midfield situation. I still think we should move Trent into midfield and get a right back as well. And I still think there's a few areas where we're a little light, but on the whole, I'm extremely happy. I came into the season saying I wanted Klopp to be a bit more flexible with his tactics and his rotation policy. I've seen improvements in those regions as well. So I'm good, man. I'm good. I just want a trophy this season, or 2 or 3 or 4. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with everyone. Ben, I expect you to agree with the boys as well.
100%, mate. I'm always the optimist. I've always been told off by a lot of people on Twitter for being too optimistic, but if there's no point believing, then what's the point? Why we're here? You know what I mean? So I toned it down a bit this season. Usually I say we're going to win the league every summer. This season, on the back of last year, I said a comfortable top 4, none of this like scraping it in the last month, and a trophy or 2. Then, you know, with this whole Klopp 2.0 Liverpool recharged thing, I think that would be a good season, and I think we're well on track for that. We're already in a quarter final. We're in the knockouts of the Europa League, I believe. I don't know if the Toulouse game.
not just yet.
Actually, put that. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
We're pretty much there, though.
I think if we drew that game, we would have qualified.
Yeah. So we're there anyway, and obviously still got the FA Cup. So I'm very excited. I'm very happy. I think this whole season was going into sort of the unknown with this team. A lot of faces that have been here for 5, 6, 7 years, even more. Jordan Henderson and Milner, but yeah, it's exciting. This, for the first time for me, was the summer where you sort of going into the season with not really knowing what to expect. Szoboszlai, Mac Allister, Gravenberch, all really good signings, Endo on paper, but we didn't know how they were going to start. We didn't know how they were going to gel. So just seeing that unfold before us right now, it's an exciting time to be a Liverpool fan. And like you said, second in the league, a point off City. I think we would have all bitten your hand off that going into the third international break. So
Definitely,
yeah, it's all good, man.
Yeah, I got to admit, this Pep Linders 2.0 is doing well so far. I ain't going to lie. Pep Linders, my man. Do you know, I didn't realise today how tall Pep Linders was. He's like the same height as Klopp.
Yeah, he's tall.
It's mad. It's mad because he looks tiny. I don't know why. He's got that Monts thing, ain't he? Monts looks 5'6" on the screen, ain't he? He's like 6'1" in real life. You know what I mean?
Cold, real life.
Yeah,
he's about 6 foot in it.
6'1". He looks 5'6" on the screen, don't he?
Yeah.
Big up, man. I think Ben cooked Copites in on Twitter yesterday.
That tweet.
That's what he says. Yeah.
Yeah, 60 mil and Valverde for Trent.
Yeah, because there's rumours obviously going around last 24 hours
going
around which
anywhere.
are interested in Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Well, that's not happening.
Nah,
No chance.
definitely not for 80 million either, which is the proposed transfer fee. You know, if
You want to triple that?
We'll start a
then
new
we'll have
deal.
Conversation.
In the next 6 months, he'll get a new deal.
yeah, I agree.
Plus, he
And then
wants to
there's
be
rumours-
Liverpool captain one day. So
Exactly.
Yeah. Trent's a one man. I don't think Trent's ever going to leave, to be fair. I'll be shocked if he does. All right, let's get this show on the road. Let's get this
Never say never, Jamie. Okay, that's what.
never
Say never.
It's going to be a nice show, Cal.
Just on that Trent thing, like we all put pictures of like Bellingham and Trent all summer long. What if it was the other way around and it's actually Bellingham trying to get Trent to go?
100 they kept themselves 100 million plus Valverde, maybe.
nah, don't even take
Personally,
that.
I think if we're ambitious enough, you keep Trent and you buy Valverde. That's just me. But
Yeah, we're not a baby club. You can't just be offering up players of money for our top player. Nah, man.
That's just me. That's just me. So, guys, I'll tell you what. Ends, I'll give it to you. We'll go down the order. What player would you like to start with?
I want to leave the controversial players about midway, maybe near
You want
the
to leave
end.
them to Cal? I hear it.
So I don't want to go for Tsimikas yet, not Wataru yet. want to go with someone nice and easy to start off the show. Make it nice and simple. Let's go with Alisson, man. Let's start that one. I feel like he deserves a lot of plaudits, man. This man has just been outstanding from last season.
Has to be.
Is S the top one, right? And then do we know what the S stand for, or we just going S?
Supreme
superstar, sensational.
Listen, last season when we needed someone, he probably kept us from finishing probably mid-table or fighting relegation at times. He was outstanding with the saves. Even the interviews he had last season where he come out and said, "No, we need to do more," and he was standing up where some of the players were shying away. And this season, he's just carried that into this season, man. He's been outstanding as well. When we don't get clean sheets, right? The win is good, but when we don't get it, I get really upset because I'm like, he deserves a clean sheet. So, like, obviously, we got the clean sheet against Brentford the other night, and I was more happy that he got a clean sheet than even the win, because he doesn't get many of them, man. And he's the best goalkeeper in the world, in my opinion. I don't know what else to say about the guy, man. The save at 0-0. When people thought he just went wide, no, he saved it. He's just so outstanding, man. Even the Pinnock header as well, great save. Don't know what else to say about the guy, man. I'm just so happy we got him in goal. Long may that continue.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if you guys, Ben, we'll go to you next about Alisson. I don't know if you guys saw Steve. You know Steve Howson, the Man United fan. Did anyone see his World 11? He did the other day, where he went on players on their current form and ability and each position. And he's two goalkeepers he thinks are the best in the world are Courtois and Ter Stegen.
Well, that just sums him up as an absolute clown.
I mean, he put Salah at right wing. But he put Salah at right wing.
Is he talking about Courtois? Because this man's been injured.
That's what everyone
the season.
He's a clown. He's just one of them.
You go in the comments and everyone was saying Courtois has been out.
And listen, Ter Stegen's a good goalkeeper. He's a world-class goalkeeper, but he's not been that great this season. And I watch a lot of Barcelona games. He's not been that great.
Plays in a comfortable league as well, if you ask me. Ben?
Yeah. There's nothing more to be said about this man than what Enz and everyone else hasn't already said. Like, he's not just the best in the world for me. He's genuinely one of the best I've ever seen with my own two eyes. He's got this feeling of sort of invincibility. Like, I wouldn't say I'm ever confident, like, fully when a player goes 1v1, but when a player goes 1v1, I'm thinking we're still not in the mud. Like, most other teams that just probably think, oh, it's a goal. But with him, there's still a big chance that he's going to do something. And he's just always ready. He's always on his toes, and his positioning is obviously one of the main reasons for that. Like, he never has to make camera saves. You see goalkeepers like, I'll just throw one out there, Aaron Ramsdale doing all sorts of craziness when they're making saves.
Ali never does about the game for 90 minutes, Ben.
Exactly, that was crazy. That was crazy. No wonder they didn't win the league. That was absolutely nuts. Well, yeah, Ali, the Newcastle save for me is the save of the season so far. I was lucky to be there, saw it with my own eyes, and when he makes that save, it's like you just knew something was happening on that day. Like, something was going to happen, and then obviously Nunes comes on, and the rest is history. So, yeah, unreal. The best there is, the best I think we'll ever. I hate to say this, guys, because he's probably going to be here for another 5 years, probably max, but hopefully longer. But we won't see another keeper better than him.
I thought you were just about to say, because it got Cal happy. I thought you were about to say the best there is, the best there was.
He is the best there ever will be for us. We'll never see another keeper better than him.
I think if he wins one more league trophy at Liverpool, he takes Ray Clement's spot as the greatest Liverpool goalkeeper ever.
That is the debate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's out of them two, ain't it? Cal, does the game on Sunday against Brentford, when it's 0-0 and that save he makes, just prove how valuable Alisson Becker is?
In isolation, no. But when you couple that with every single save and vital thing he does every single season since he's been here, the guy is truly elite. I think you're right, Ben. I think we as fans may take it for granted sometimes that he makes saves that he makes look easy. It's just that his IQ and his footwork is so good that he doesn't have to be diving around. He can just stand still and just collect the ball. I'd much rather my goalkeeper do that than doing the flying acrobatics. Jordan Pickford's one for it. He loves a camera save. Alisson will collect the ball and then we'll be on our move again. The worst season he's had at Liverpool was during maybe the COVID season. And that season, he still pops up with a goal that pretty much got us top 4.
Yeah.
In unthinkable circumstances as well.
Exactly. Champions League final, who gets man of the match? Alisson, Becker. The season we win the league, all right, he had a few injuries, but when he played, fantastic. The season where we were chasing the quad, sensational. Last season without him, we're doing a Chelsea. This season without him, we're not where we are in the league either. The guy truly is a once-in-a-lifetime goalkeeper. And the day we signed him will, for me, go down in history. And I'll go out and say it could be Klopp's greatest ever signing. Not just at Liverpool. He could be Klopp's greatest ever signing. And I'm a massive Salah stan. But Alisson, you just can't find goalkeepers like this.
No.
He's on another level. And I'll say it, I think he's been our best player so far this season as well.
Cal's getting me too excited. He needs to stop.
I just love the guy, man. I genuinely love Alisson. Like, for me, I would have made Alisson captain. I'm happy with Virgil and Trent being captain and vice. Alisson would have been my captain.
Yeah,
I think
Alisson,
he's just a different level.
Big up my owners for getting him in anyway.
Steady.
Oh God, I'm gonna get cooked for that now. Right, Ben, what play do you want to go with? By the way, this ain't just Premier League season. This is the whole Cups, Europe, everything.
I want to go with one of the new signings. I'll go with Alexis Mac Allister because I think this could be quite an interesting one. We don't want it to just be Alisson, Salah, Van Dijk all the way through. Come on, man. Let's have some.
I rate it, Ben. I rate it, bro.
What are we giving the new Jordan Henderson then?
That's why I started with Alisson, because I knew this was going to happen.
I'm not gonna lie, I was on your vibe as well. I was gonna just try and go through all the good ones until you got to the bad ones.
None of that. I like Mac Allister.
Yeah, I like him. I really like him, and I think it's so obvious to see what we can get out of him or what he brings. And I've been a big fan since he was at Brighton. I think there was two Brighton games I went to last season. Both times, like, this is way before we were linked with him as well. He was different, and I think one of them he came on from the bench and he only played for about half an hour. But the half an hour he was on the pitch, he was different class. And I think obviously there's so much to this. Like, you could do a whole thing on Mac Allister and talk about him for an hour as to why maybe certain things haven't gone his way. But yeah, he obviously is playing as a 6, and is that what he's best to do? No. Did he do it at Brighton? Yeah, but he had Caicedo next to him. So it's like you're taking everything that he's good at, and let's not forget he's wearing the 10 on his back, as you can just about make out behind me. So that to me tells me where he wants to play. I know you can't look into shirt numbers too much, but I do feel like he wants to be the 8. He wants to carry the ball forward. He wants to be that sort of link-up player with the attack. And at the minute, we're just seeing him stuck sort of at the halfway line. And I don't necessarily think he's been as bad as people have made out. I just feel a bit underwhelmed by what I was expecting to what I've seen now. And again, no fault to his own, because he's only doing what the manager Lingers has told him to do, and that is to be more reserved. I just want to see a bit more from him. I want to see the Mac Allister that we all saw at Brighton, and we all saw play with Lionel Messi in the World Cup. I want to see that expressiveness. I want to see him come out of his shell a bit more. So I think I would put him in B or C. I'm still not sure yet. So I'd like to hear these two, and then we'll come to some sort of agreement.
Cal, I mean, I've had my things with Mac Allister this season because
hoping you're going to end man next.
I'm going all the way around. With Mac Allister this season, I've been saying it for a while. I don't know if Klopp actually sees him as this kind of player going forward. That's because I look at the way Szoboszlai plays, and the way I look at Mac Allister plays, and I look at players who played for us in the past, like Gini, Hendo, and Milner, and stuff like that. And all of these are probably going to end up being better technical footballers. But are they there to do very similar jobs to the old guard in what Klopp thinks will work best for the football team, Cal?
So I'm going to go on a premise and say no. But the reason I'm going to say no is based off a small sample size, because what you're saying makes a lot of sense. I'm going to go off the sample size of Ox and when Naby first came in. Ox for me was given that free reign to say, all right, you've got to do your defensive duties, but look, if we're on the attack, you're the fourth man in that attack. I think Klopp sees Szoboszlai as that, because effectively Szoboszlai is what Ox was in 17-18, but probably with a better engine and more robust. In terms of Mac Allister, I mean, I feel so sorry for him, because look, we've got to criticize him because he's a footballer and he's playing in a team at the end of the day, but I don't know, it's like asking me to do a weightlifting contest and I can't lift up certain weights. Like, it's not my fault. I'm just not genetically there, and I'm not going to be genetically there overnight. So you're asking Mac Allister to come in my opinion, to be in the most important role in our team, considering what Trent does, considering what Robbo does, what Salah and Diaz/Jota on the wing does. For me, the number 6 was the most important position in the team, and you've asked him to play there with very little experience being a 6 or a lone 6 in a completely brand new midfield, a midfield where Szoboszlai is athletic, but you wouldn't necessarily say Jones is athletic or anyone else who plays in that midfield, apart from Gravenberch, but Gravenberch doesn't tend to start games at the moment. I think he's been done a real disservice. Now, I have to blame the club as a whole for Mac Allister playing as a 6, because it's not fair on him. Ben's absolutely right. We saw him playing in the World Cup. We saw him playing at Brighton, and he was unlocking defenses. He was keeping the game ticked over. His recycling of possession is fantastic, and we're not getting to see that. Instead, we're seeing him running back to goal and picking up, what is it? He's got 5 yellow cards so far, or something like. Was it 7? Yeah. I was watching your show, Jamie, with K-Mac the other day, and K-Mac was going through the statistics on how many yellow cards he's got at this stage of the season in comparison to how many he got in a full season with Brighton. And it's crazy. He's on track to like hit double figures in yellow cards, and that's wild when you think about like how he is as a player. I think the sooner we either start playing Endo or we get another 6 that Klopp fully trusts, the better it will be for Liverpool and the better it will be for Mac Allister, because I genuinely believe him playing left centre midfield or rotating with one of the other left centre midfielders puts us on another level to teams. And that's why I worry for him at the moment, because I fear that the fan base is gonna paint a picture of him that's unfair. And this time next year, he could be playing left centre midfield, but you're gonna have people going, last season Mac Allister was crap though. Why is he starting? When it's like,
oh, not this fan base, Cal.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing, though, isn't it? Like, I don't think anyone, and especially us on here now, that no one will doubt his ability as a football player. Everyone knows that he can go on to be world class. I think he could definitely hit that level. But yeah, what you're saying is, whilst he's in this situation in this team, I don't think we're going to see it just yet.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. It's a shame. But I'd probably put him in tier C, just based on performances, which I think is really unfair, but just going off his performance.
Ben was between a B and a C or a C. Ends.
Do you know what? The way that I look at it, right? And I totally agree with everything you guys have said, but I'm trying to look at it differently. I listened to what Klopp said at the start of the season. They're trying to be more of a possession-based team. Trent does the whole inverted thing, whatever way you want to look at it. So in his mind, he's like, I don't really need a 6 because we should have enough players in and around the midfield so we can just play simple 1-2 passes and we get out. We don't necessarily need, a natural 6 in that role, unless we're playing a particular team, maybe like a Man City and Arsenal, where you're going to need to man mark a certain player. So I'm looking at, him coming in there and he's filling in and he's doing a job. If you look at, obviously, the games we've played, yes, there's games where he's been found out, in transition, he's not quick enough. He's trying to get up to the speed of Liverpool. I feel at times he still feels he plays for Brighton, where they play with the double pivot at moments and they slow the game down to entice you to go and press, and then they pop it around you. And I feel like he's still trying to get up to speed while learning the position that Klopp wants him to play in Linda's. I don't think he'll be the long-term player that plays there, but I think he's just doing a role now. The problem we have is what we want and what Klopp and Linda's want. What they want is they're looking at a team that's lost 2 games this season with him playing in the 6. We're looking at it going, well, there's moments where we got caught out. Obviously, we didn't get punished, but we've won these games. So for them, we're like, no, we need a 6. For them, we're like, well, show us why we need a 6, because we've only lost 2 games. And that's the issue. We just have to kind of wait, see how the season pan out. Maybe he improves in that position. I think he's made loads of tackles, though. There is games where he's he's won the ball back in key areas for us and progressed the ball forward. In January, can we fix it? I don't know. I would love to see him in more of an 8 position, but now we got Gravenberch, you got Curtis that can play there, you got Szoboszlai that plays there, Harvey fills in there at time to time as well. But there's more to come from him, and I think Benny's right. You want to see that Mac Allister that played in the Argentinian team where he's dynamic, he was going forward and he was playing those killer passes. But it's Liverpool's playing for at the moment, and the job he's asked to do is you just be our ball-playing, deep-line playmaker, if that's the way you want to call it. He's not a 6. He's not going to run around and make a lot of tackles. But he's trying. That's why he's got like 7 yellow cards at the moment this season. But I just feel like we just have to give him time. Let him just look at what Klopp is saying and what he wants, and then we can make our own assessments based off of that. I feel like as fans, sometimes we feel what we want should, supersede what the manager wants. And for the manager, he's like, nah, I don't need a 6 at the moment, or else I would go and get one, or else I would have got the one I wanted. If he can't get the one, Klopp already, if he can't get the one he wants, he's going to wait until he gets the one he wants. So we just have to give Mac Allister a bit of slack, man. We understand he's not the 6. We understand he's not the quickest, but he's still been one of the players this season that's helped us out in moments where we needed him. So in terms of where you want to put him, I'll leave that down to the guys, man. I feel like either one is going to be unfair, so it's down to you guys. I'll let you guys decide.
I was in between B and C. Cal said C. I go C, and I'll leave it there till the end.
You can always change it, can't we?
Yeah.
Right, my pick. Right, I'm going to go with one that I think might be a bit controversial. What I'm about to say. I'm going to leave him there a minute. So
that hurts my heart.
You're putting him in C.
Well, get ready for your heart to be broken.
And then talk, bro.
Get ready for your heart to be broken.
Where's my glass? Hold on. Now let me get my glass. Wait.
Right, here's what I'm going to say. I think Szoboszlai is a fantastic footballer. I actually think he's one of the best midfielders in the league. But the last 4 games, he has been poor, in my opinion, and that's because Curtis Jones ain't playing. I think if you go and look at Szoboszlai's career so far at Liverpool, he plays best when Curtis Jones plays on the left-hand side of the midfield 3. Because I think him and Gravenberch are very similar, and they both like to get forward at the same time, and that's when we're a bit more overexposed. I think if you want Szoboszlai to be that player, I think you need a foil for him in midfield, and I think that foil is Curtis Jones, because Curtis Jones pulls into wider areas of the pitch and takes men with him, and it helps out Szoboszlai. And I'm not saying Szoboszlai's been terrible or anything like that, but I don't think he's been an A all season, because the last 4 games, I don't think he has been that great. He's been very quiet. But I'll put him in the B. I think he's been tremendous, but the last 4 games, not good enough for me, my opinion. I mean, it's facts.
Wow.
You want to drop the mic, Jamie?
Last 4 games, he hasn't been great. Fans have been saying that.
So let me see when the last 4 games.
I do think Curtis Jones is his best partner in that midfield. Go on in.
Listen, I'm not going to disagree in terms of the performance, because I've definitely been calling him out. People are telling me to shut up. I think he's had a great start this season. Don't get me wrong. He's been outstanding. But I looked at the 2 games, the Bournemouth one, and who was the other one we played in the rain? Luton as well. And I was like, okay,
everyone in the rain.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. And I was like, okay, maybe it's the conditions. Maybe he's not used to it. The long ball, the wind. He's not used to it. The compact stadium in terms of the size, because he's used to the more bigger pitches. I just didn't feel like he performed in those 2 games. But I thought, okay, benefit of the doubt, everyone that I spoke to said to me, you have to give him, he's not used to these kind of conditions. All right, no problem. Then I watched the Brentford game, and obviously I did the watch along for it. And I kept hearing people call out the left back. And I'm like, so you're not watching Szoboszlai give the ball away every time he gets the ball? And that's our agenda start as well. But he weren't great in that game. He done better in the second half against Brentford. But the first half, this man, every time the ball came to him, it was like it was hot potato, bro. He kept kicking it away, miscontrolling it. But Jamie, bro, I think you have to move him up at least 1 more. putting him in. Is it B? Did he put him in?
He's in B at the moment.
Yeah, no, I think he's been better than that. I'm going to chalk down the last 3.5 games down to the weather conditions. That's what I'm going to give him. but as a player, he's been outstanding.
There was no
for us,
bad
man.
weather in Germany, no, Hungary.
Yeah, but he might have had a cold, man. I don't know. Virgil had was it a cold he had? That's why he missed the game. So
nonsense. He just didn't want to play him, man. He just kick your feet up and we'll tell him when you had a cold. He looked
by the way,
fine
everyone
against
coming for me
Brentford
in
to
the
me.
chat. Everyone coming for me in the live chat. I
Cool.
don't think Szoboszlai has been that good in the last 4 games. I don't think he's had great performances in the last 4 games. Start the season, A, no doubt about it. A, tearing on S. But the last 4 games just gone down a little bit for me to B.
how many games have we played so far? 12 in the league, 4 in the 16 2 cup games, 18 games roughly.
By the end of the season, he'll probably be A.
So if we go by, if it's 18 games we've played roughly, he's only had 3.5, 4 bad games. Probably have to move him up one based on that, because the rest of the games he's been really good.
That.
But is he doing what everyone wanted him to do when he signed?
Yes. Well, all right. No, but for me, he's doing more than what I expected.
Is he doing what Jordan Henderson used to do, but just with more quality? And I'm not having a dig here. I'm not having a dig, but he goes up and down that right-hand side, box to box, covers defensively, gets in attacking areas. He does what Henderson did. Klopp's asking him to do the same similar job Jordan Henderson did. But the difference is that Szoboszlai's got far more quality, far more athletic, and he's far quicker and he's got better legs and a better engine. In that a fact?
Yeah, I see it. I think the thing about Szoboszlai is obviously I'm not sure if he's always been this profile that we're using him now. I think he may have been way more attacking or way more on the right, like when he was at Leipzig or before then. And playing in a Jurgen Klopp midfield is probably one of the hardest positions to play in world football for any team. Like the amount of effort that requires, I don't think people quite understand. What goes into that. We've seen all the running stats and stuff from years gone by is absolutely insane. And I think I'm not saying there's fatigue because we're 15 games in, there should be no fatigue, but I think we may have used him a bit too much for a new signing. Obviously, he's a star signing. He should be playing most games, but maybe there are some games there where he didn't need to play the whole game or he didn't even need to start at all. But before those games you just mentioned, Jamie, I remember the Nottingham Forest one where he got 2 assists. He was brilliant in that game. I think at that point he was probably top 3 players. So I think obviously you can see there's been a bit of a drop off, but I think there's been a bit of a drop off in the whole team over the last 3-4 games. Obviously, we come back against Brentford and get the win. But yeah, I wouldn't look too into it. I think we've seen enough from him to be pretty confident that this is a signing the club's got right. This is a signing that will take us forward. And this is certainly a signing that our midfield was desperately crying out for. So based on that, I would put him in A. I can't think of too many players in our team over the last however many games. I think Anne said it was 15, 16. I can't think of more than 4 that have been better than him. So based on that, I'll go A.
I'll go with A as well. That's what I'm saying. It's between an A and B anyway. I'll just put out there some facts. But I don't think Szoboszlai will be the midfielder that a lot of Liverpool fans thought he would be when he came to the club. I don't think he's going to ever get 15 goals a season or anything like that, like a lot of people thought, because I don't think that's what his role in the team is going to be in our midfield right now, especially this season. Maybe next season going forward, I think we might be a completely different a different side next year. But for this year, yeah, I think
I know it's going to sound like an excuse. It's the number 6 position again. I know I keep on coming back to it, but I think that's offsetting the balance of the midfield. And I think it's offsetting what Szoboszlai is good at. And when we signed him, I did expect him to be our sort of version of Kevin De Bruyne. I don't expect him to be as good as De Bruyne right now, obviously, because De Bruyne is a phenomenal player. But
he's overrated, but yeah.
Oh, he just passes into space, bro. It's fine.
But the reason I think Szoboszlai has been an A is because he's gone above and beyond what I thought he was as a player. Like he's got defensive now. His engine is crazy. His decision making 90% of the time is excellent as well. Again, I go back to it. I think we sort out that sixth position. I think it just really just changes the dynamic of this team, and players like Szoboszlai can get in and around the attackers a bit more often, and then I think that's when you'll just see him just absolutely destroy teams.
It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting, though. Nevertheless, because when we're linked with many players at the moment, but none of them's a number 6. Kind of weird. Right. I'm going to give this one to Ends. Gravenberch, man.
It's Cal's next, I think, isn't it?
Oh, Cal. Is it Cal? No, is it?
No.
I did Szoboszlai. Say it is you, Ends, yeah.
No, it's Cal. Has Cal not done one yet?
I can't remember.
No, so I did Alisson.
Yeah, go on, Cal.
No, it's me.
Cal,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you Gravenberch, Cal.
No, let him pick one. Let him pick one.
Are you?
I'll give you a nice one. I'll take
all right, who am I going to pick? All right, I'm actually going to go Kelleher.
There we go then.
I'll explain why, because I'm probably one of Kelleher's biggest fans. And
feel like that was a cop out still, but it's fine.
I've been slightly disappointed with Kelleher this season, and I have a little theory, which again I'm just throwing an idea out there. I do not think or know whether this is fact or not. So if I get cooked for it, then I'm sure I'll quickly know that it's not agreed with. Because of Klopp's rotation over the last few years, I think players like Kelleher, Tsimikas, we saw it with Origi, Minamino, Shaqiri, etc. I think because they don't play often enough, I think Klopp has to make a decision where you either play them more often or you sell those players and replace them more often. In the same way that Guardiola kind of does it, like he has a rotation with the players who are the backups to the main players, because it feels as though the longer you keep a player who's like this, they regress. I feel I've seen some regression in Kelleher this season, and I think it's because of a lack of playing time over the last 3 years, probably, which is kind of started to take its toll. I think after his season where we were chasing the quad, I think that should have given Klopp a lot more confidence in him. However, it didn't seem like that was what happened. He obviously didn't play many minutes last season because we got knocked out of Carabao pretty early, in the FA Cup pretty early.
Yeah, but didn't Alisson play FA Cup last year?
He played, so he predominantly did. I think Kelleher got one of the FA Cup games because it fell within a couple of fixtures because it had to be rescheduled. The Wolves one, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's suffering from that, and I don't think he's having a good season. I expect a lot more from him because I think he's a very good goalkeeper, and I'd actually go as far as saying, as far as number 2s go, he's probably in the top 5 in the Premier League, in my opinion. But we're not seeing that from him this season, and therefore I would probably put. I don't know if I'd go as low as a D.
Oh, I just put him there on the thing.
Yeah, I'm just thinking I'd probably go as.
I'd say D. I think D's.
He hasn't been as good as Mac Allister. Yeah.
I think
I'm probably looking for excuses. Yeah, he's a D.
The thing with Kelleher, Ben, is that no matter how well Kelleher plays, he knows he ain't playing the next game.
Exactly.
Because you've got Alisson, Becker in goal, and I think Kelleher knows that as well. And I think it's like Cal was saying, the longer he's at the club, it's going to be like, don't really matter how well I play because, I'm never shifting Alisson, Becker. And when it comes to Europa League, if you're Kelleher, do you think you're playing, if Liverpool get quarterfinal and semi-final Europa League, is Kelleher playing them games?
He could play quarters. I think it depends on the team. I think, say, Man United come into the Europa League and we've got them in the quarterfinal. He's not playing that, is he? Let's be real.
No.
So I've got to just say one thing. Ends. That's a bad freeze.
Yeah.
Hey, hopefully no one's paid attention to. I was like,
I was there for a good 5 minutes.
No one say nothing.
Yeah, listen, I saw some quotes from Kelleher the other day, to be fair, and it's crystal clear he wants to be a number 1, and he knows he's not naive enough to think that he's ever going to get that chance here. He sort of laughed off at how he's not going to get that chance because of Alisson, and I feel like if that's the case, and if he is wanting a move, I think he's got to play for that move, and he's got to pull his socks up a bit, because I think some of the goals I've seen him concede in Europa League and the Cups, it's just some of them have gone straight through him. And it's like, we saw Kelleher that was capable of making these sort of saves, and like Carl said, in the season when we went for the quad, and he was the hero in one of the shootouts. And I think maybe if the plan was to just use him as a backup, which it obviously was going to be because Ali's not going anywhere, there's an argument to be had that we probably could have cashed in 20 million or so then. His market value is going to be nowhere near that now. But I think back then when, he was a hot name on, everyone's mouths, he was like, we said, oh, the best backup goalkeeper for a team that is like mid-table to 20th. They would have easily been happy to sign him for their first choice. So we've got a few young keepers as well coming through now, which apparently the club rate, like Pitaluga. I think there's one called Davies as well. I think he may have gone out on loan or something.
Davies.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing, but I don't think he's that detrimental to the squad to have not moved on. I think you owe him that, to be fair. You owe him the chance to play football because, like we keep saying, he's just not going to play more than 10 games a season here. So when you've developed a goalkeeper, you've got him to a really good standard as to, he can go and play first division football somewhere. I think it's almost selfish to just keep him just in case, just for when you need him. I think you've got to give him that option. Okay, if you want to move on, go ahead. We're not going to stop you, but maybe he wants to stay and play at Liverpool and win trophies. I don't know. But yeah, he definitely wants to be number one somewhere. He said it himself in the quotes the other day. And yeah, it's just never going to get that here. And I do think when he's played this season, as far as backups go, we can't criticise him too much. I have been quite disappointed with him, to be honest. And he's not a kid anymore as well. We need to remember that. He's not like 20, mid.
Yes, it's because of his game time. He's not playing enough games, and I really love him as a goalkeeper, as a backup. But I watched Europa League game, and there was one, he didn't even come off his line. I think it was the first leg when we won 5-1. He didn't even come off his line when the striker was running through, and he shot straight at him. And I remember saying, like, close the angle. Don't just give him the whole goal to shoot at. That's what you expect like a younger goalkeeper to do. And even in the second fixture against Toulouse again, like I don't even think he made one save. And then there was one when they cut it back and he parried it back into open space. And I'm like, bro, you can't do that as a goalkeeper, man. Either you push it out or you gather it. You don't just push it back into an open space. I just don't think, and I think I was right as well, because he hasn't been playing. He's digressed a bit. I think he's just dropped off in terms of what I thought his potential could be. And I thought he could easily be a number one at one of the other clubs. Maybe not the top six, but the other clubs in the Premier League and below the top six teams. But now I'm looking at him, I'm like, I don't know. Is it game time or not? But you talk about leaving Liverpool. What move can you actually do? You're at if not one of the biggest clubs in the world. Any move now is a step backwards. And yes, sometimes you have to take a step backwards to move forwards, but I don't see the step backwards unless he goes to Tottenham. You could have said Tottenham at the time, but then they've now got a decent goalkeeper. Who else in the league do you think he could go to kind of make a name for himself?
I think he'd be perfect at West Ham.
Yeah. I mean, Areola's good.
Areola is a good goalkeeper as well.
Go United. You need to keep him.
In Bournemouth's too low.
Chelsea. Is he worse than Sanchez?
No, you ain't going Chelsea. Yeah.
I'd rather have him than Sanchez, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't think Chelsea would buy him.
But that's the thing, innit? He's at one of the biggest clubs in the world. For him, he knows he has to move to go and make something.
It depends what he wants. If he wants money and to win trophies, he'll stay here. If he wants to go and play and develop his career, then he'll go elsewhere. Right,
that's Lee Keller there in the D then. Right, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to give some names out. We're going to throw them in. Right, Harvey Elliott, guys. How do we rank Harvey Elliott this season?
B.
Yeah, I'd say throw him in there.
Brilliant cameo performances, but hasn't been great when he started.
Yeah, my theory on the Elliott starting thing, because Klopp's insistent that he's a midfielder. He hasn't got that strength of a midfielder of playing 90 minutes, but coming on as a cameo for 30 to 20 minutes when legs are tired and he picks up space, he's been excellent. That's sort of his role that's his role in our team right now, and I don't mind that for him. I really don't mind that for him.
Have you noticed his positioning as well? The way the different positions he's picking up on the pitch, that's why he's able to get more shots on goal.
Yeah,
he's picking up the edge of the box now, and he's not afraid to take matters in his own hands as well. I've noticed he's definitely stepping up as a player. But you're right, Cal. Is he worthy of a start? Based on his cameos as a sub, yes. But when he does get it, doesn't really perform.
Yeah,
so
player. But I'm fine with
you
that
do?
because he's a young man still learning the game. I'm perfectly
You
happy
need
with
these
it.
players, and this is what I've been
Yes.
trying to tell people because I'm a huge fan of Curtis Jones and Harvey. Both of them, I absolutely love them both. And people, or someone were telling me like one of them needs a loan, maybe cash in on one of them, and I was like, you guys, you don't know what you want. 1 minute you're crying because we don't have a team, and then when we have a team, you want to sell the team, and you're not gonna have 6 or 7 superstars in midfield. It doesn't happen unless you're Barcelona under Pep Guardiola. It doesn't happen. So you need these young players that have that hunger and desire to come in and do a job. And Harvey, when he started, I admit he's not been as good as he has in the cameos, but every time he comes on, I see that hunger, I see that desire. Southampton away last season, I sat behind his dad, and you just saw how much his family just love him and how much he loves this club. I don't think people quite understand that. When Harvey steps onto this pitch, it's like a dream come true every single time. He said it himself.
It'd be like if we played.
Yeah, and for me, I love that. I love those players that just, and people mock people for it, but I don't care. I want players that love this club. I want players that have, grown up watching this club, and that's what he's done. And I see something special in him. Like you said, Jamie, he's still only 20, 21. Like, he's still got like years and years to go before he's anywhere near his full potential. So I think he's still a project. He's still something that we're working on, still trying to figure out how to get the best out of him. But I certainly see a big future in him, especially at this club. He's not going anywhere.
And Cal, he doesn't need to start games, does he? I don't understand the mindset where every player has to start games all the time.
Yeah,
it's a squad game now, isn't it?
100%. I think Harvey might be one of those players who's maybe suffering a little bit from playing in positions that he's not necessarily accustomed to. I personally think the kid's a 10. Yeah. The Bournemouth game in the Carabao Cup, that first half performance from him was one of the best performances I've seen in his career so far. Like, he was literally dominating that game. He was threading passes through, he's picking out players in space. That for me showed he's a 10. Obviously, we don't play with a 10. That's another conversation. But that for me showed enough that the boy's got quality. And as Ben said, the passion he shows, and you could just see how much he loves the club. Like, and I'm not gonna belittle a player for that. Like, he's living the dream of millions of people, and he's doing well with that dream. He's not taking it for granted.
I agree. Curtis Jones. Now, he's a player that's got everyone on side now. I think he started. Obviously, his injuries are a little bit of a concern, but when he's fit and he plays, Klopp starts him.
Yeah, I think A.
I'm in between A and B.
I'd go B.
This is madness.
I'd go B just because of the injuries.
Yeah, and that was the only thing.
But do you know why that would make me want to go A? There's a caveat to that, and I said this the other day on the space. I said the biggest compliment we can all give to Curtis Jones this season as Liverpool fans is that when he's not played, we're all sat here thinking, "Where's Curtis Jones? We miss Curtis Jones." Not one of those bums that hated on him every single game last season would have ever thought would be in that situation. We actually watch games now, and like you said, Jamie, Szoboszlai's performances may have been without him. You're looking at these games and you're thinking, if we had Curtis Jones, this might have happened, that might have happened. I think that's the biggest credit we can give him this season. The way since last season, the last sort of 10 games, he came back in after such a horrible time of injuries. He's been so unlucky. And I think when you're looking at a player like that and you're thinking we're missing him, you know that, wow, something big's happening here. So I would probably say low end of A, high end of B.
Sorry.
I also do you know what? All those people that called him out, they were right at the time because he wasn't performing, but he stepped up. He grew up. We've needed him this season, and what you notice when he doesn't play, our press slightly drops off because he's normally the one that triggers it. So when he triggers it, he's the highest, I think, in terms of ball recovery as well. When he loses it, you never want to be a player when you lose it around him because he runs you down and he wants to, and 9 times out of 10 he does win it back. When he hasn't played, we'd slightly drop off in terms of the intensity. So when you see him and Harvey, when they step on the pitch, there's a lot of running around, closing players down. There's a lot of hustle and bustle. There's the Liverpool way, the Klopp way that we were so used to. But in terms of where I want to put him, the injuries is a big problem, man. But yeah, man, I've missed him. I missed him in the team when he hasn't played.
He's proving a lot of people
Say an
wrong.
A.
I'm so happy about it.
He
I would say
reminds
an
me
A,
of
but the
James
injuries.
17.
Yeah.
So A would be if he didn't have any injuries this season, I think it'd be an A.
I would be an A.
I'm going to knock him down.
I think
for
if
that.
he didn't have the injuries, he'd be an S.
Yeah. So what are we going on, guys? B or A?
I don't think he can be in the same one as Harvey though. I think he's been far more needed and
Well,
Yeah, put him up
you
there.
say-
Put him up
would
there.
you
I'm
say-
not going to complain with an A at all.
would you say Curtis Jones and Szoboszlai have been our two best midfielders this season?
yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, Gravenberch though.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Let's put him there.
Yeah.
Let's give him his dues. You know, people go hate it because they go ask, "What does Curtis Jones do?" You know,
Provides us with balance.
exactly. It's balance in the midfield.
It's such a simple answer. Like, and
It's
people
the right
hate to
answer,
hear.
pal. It's the right answer.
Yeah,
That's the
people hate
problem.
to hear the word balance, but you take balance out of literally anything in life, and it's wrong. It's offset.
Mhm.
Right. Right. Let's just do this, yeah. Wataru Endo.
Feel like it was too early, Jamie.
Oh no, I'm just getting out of the way with.
I'm
I
not
don't want to
first
hate on.
on this one.
I don't think
I'll
any
go
of this.
first.
I don't think
Yeah,
any of this
then
is
you're
Wataru
true.
Endo's
You go
fault,
for it,
by the
bro.
way. I don't think this is any of the players' fault, by the way.
No,
You know, he
absolutely.
got. I think he's the scapegoat of our team now. Whenever he plays, which I don't think is fair on him. You know, you see big Twitter handlers, you know, going for Endo and coming up. Like the stats are right. He won 0 grand jewels on the weekend, but so did Szoboszlai, but no one mentions it. You know, and
Sorry,
Actually-
Jay. I don't want to cut you short there, but I know we like to look at stats, but what when you talk about ground rules, I just want to clear it up for my own mindset, my own
buzzword.
mental health.
it's a new buzzword.
What is a ground rule? Because I saw him
It's
win
a
tackles against players, and that's a jewel for me, and that's
Yeah.
on the
Mm.
ground.
No,
What
so
is the
those are
ground
tackles. Those are tackles on. So ground jewels are if like there's a 50-50 or
It's
if the
just winning
ball's
the ball.
loose or
It's just winning
you
the
win
ball.
the ball.
What about the one he nearly got sent off? There was that a loose touch and a 50-50.
No,
so
I think
don't know
that's
if
that's the
and he
jewel
won that
won.
one. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the one he won in the game.
Can I just say, I personally thought he gave the team a bit more balanced playing,
100%.
He did,
and it helped Matip and Virgil van Dijk and Trent
Yes.
on the weekend. But every time I say this, everyone comes at me. But he won no grand jewels.
You know what it was? It's these. Look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that he's the DM I wanted or he's the midfielder I wanted. I didn't even know who he was. I'll be real until we signed him. That day when it came through, I was like, "Who's this?" Like, I was on a stream. It literally came through live. That was my reaction. Like, what's going on?
this?
Who is this guy? But
Same.
I always, and no matter who the player is, whether you're a superstar, whether you're a young player, whether you're someone like him, I'll always give you at least a chance. And I'm sorry to say to the people that want me to just come on there and talk crap about him, I've not seen him play anywhere near as bad as what the timeline suggests. I can't think of any game where he's been disastrous. Okay, there might have been games that have passed him by. There might have been games where he's not been as effective as what you'd expect, like Fabinho to have been. But guess what? He was the last resort in our window. We tried to get Lavia. We didn't value him at above 50 million. We tried to get Caicedo. He didn't want to come. Nothing we can do there. We had a deal agreed. At the end of the day, he wanted Chelsea. More for him. So you're left with not many options. And I still can't help but think, and I've said this time and time and time again, the club aren't stupid. Jurgen's not stupid. Pep's not stupid. The board aren't stupid. This is not the six that they're going to go forward with, guys. This is just a player that's come in, because at the end of the day, we lost five bodies in midfield last season. If we didn't sign him, we've only replaced 3. Thiago's out for however long. Stefan's not back yet. So if we didn't have Endo, we'd be down to 3 or 4 midfielders. You need numbers. It is a numbers game, and I know you want the quality as well, and that will come. But I just feel like with Endo, same with Darwin Núñez for a lot of fans, the writing was on the wall as soon as the signing was made. People just wrote him off, and okay, fair enough, whatever. People judge things in different ways. But I just don't get it myself. I don't get why people are quick to jump on him after
You know,
a 3-0
it's been-
win when we've not won in 2 games. It just baffles me.
If he cost, if Endo, and no one knew about him, yeah, as you said, we all didn't. Some people will say they did, you know, but let's face it, none of us did. But if he cost 75 million, everyone have a different aspect on it.
100%.
they'd be like, "I'll give him time." You know, they obviously saw something in him because he cost that much money, so let's give him time. With Endo, what I will say I'm pleasantly surprised is he's actually a decent passer of the ball.
Breaks the lines.
And that is what Klopp, and like, if we're listening to Klopp all the time talking about what he wants his players to do, Endo, he does it. He breaks the lines with his passing. He's always looking forward. He's always looking to get the ball moving forward. That's why Mac Allister plays there at the moment, because he's looking to get the ball forward and passing the line. Like,
do you know what I will say about Endo, mate? And this is what I will say. If I am proven wrong, and this is the project, this is the sixth, this is the one we're going to have for the next 3 or 4 years, I can understand people's meltdowns, because to compete for the title against City, they've got Rodri, and we've got Endo. So it's chalk and cheese. But I can't help but think, I don't know if it's going to be January or it's going to be in the summer, something is cooking behind the scenes. And this is, I wouldn't say it's just what's the word I'm looking for, like a panic buy or anything like that. Like people said it was Arthur Melo 2.0. I don't see that. I just feel like when we do get the 6 we want, we're going to have him, and then we're going to have Endo for cups and whatever. And I just think that obviously it was a bit of a shambles in the summer with the DM role. We can't hide away from that. I just feel like this was a short-term fix. And if we're a bit more patient, like Ken said, when we don't get our first choice targets, we wait and we wait and wait until the opportunity comes available, then we pounce. And more often than not, once we've waited, it's all turned out good. So that's why I'm still confident in it. But Jamie, I got to bounce, bro.
big up, Ben. Thanks for coming in, man.
Let me know when you next want me on, mate, and I'll
always, man, always. I'll let you know.
Take care, boys.
Cheers.
Look, he's come into the season, and 2 of the games he played in, we were down to 10 men as well. He had to come on and do what he needed to do. The games that he's been given the opportunities in, yes, he hasn't set the world alight, but if you pay attention to what he's doing and how he plays, you'll see that it does offer us something. And like Al said, he offers us balance as well. When he's in there, it allows the other players to go and do what they need to go and do. This ground drill, this stats thing, I think everyone just gets way too obsessed around these things. Like, really watch the game. And yes, if you watch the game and you go, he's not good enough, no problem. But if you can't watch the game and see that he kept breaking up the Brentford attacks, and then come and tell me about he won 0 ground rules, and then use that to justify the way you're going to speak about him, then leave me alone. You know what I mean? Leave me out of it. Makes no sense. I watched him break up everywhere around the pitch. Everywhere around the pitch. He was everywhere. You talked about his forward passing. I think this man just plays 2-touch football. Touch, and then his first thought is forward. Get it into my attacking players, let them go and cook. And then you then come and tell me, he didn't win no ground. So the whole game, he didn't do nothing then. That doesn't make sense. And if he was younger, people wouldn't have a problem. And I'm like, he's 30, and he's a lot fitter than most 22-year-olds. Some of the man them that's cooking him now can't even have his fitness level. So, I don't know, man. You have to look at yourself before you try and cuss to the players of Liverpool Football Club, man.
Nah.
Give him the opportunity. 30 is not the end of the world.
Yeah.
So
it all depends what everyone wants from their DM at the end of the day. You know, do people want a hard battling DM that smashes everyone about but can't pass the football? Or do they want a DM that not great at that part of the game, but they can pass the football? And that's what Klopp looked at, because Klopp said it himself. He wanted him 3 years ago. He knows the player. He knows what he's about. So I don't know where we're going to rank him, though, guys, because can we actually put him with a C, Mac Allister? It wouldn't sound fair to me.
No.
Leave him at D.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
And I agree with many games.
I was going to say, I agree with what both of you have said. Like, for me, when it comes to the eye, I always say this, the eye test is subjective and stats have to be contextualized. You can't have one isolated because it just makes no sense. That being said, though, I don't think we'll know the value of Endo until this time next season, because if we don't get another 6 and Endo is the 6 that Klopp wants to go for the future, then I think we're underachieving with that. I think Bišćetik's situation is probably playing a major factor, because I know Klopp rates him higher, as do I and a lot of other Liverpool fans. But at the same time, as much as I love Bišćetik, I've got to look at the competition. He's not touching Rice, he's not touching Rodri and a few others. Endo as a squad player, I don't have an issue with. As a starter for a team that I believe is trying to win the league and then hopefully next season trying to win the Champions League, I don't think it makes sense. I was skeptical about it in the summer. I'm still a little skeptical now. Especially, it feels as though Klopp saw this and was like, I don't always get the player I necessarily want. I've got a chance to get a player that I've wanted for 3 years. It's something we're doing Football Manager. If I was playing Football Manager and Fekir became available, I'd probably go and buy him because I've been a fan of him. He never played for Liverpool and now I've got a chance. I think we saw a little bit of that in the summer because, as you said quite a few times, Jay, I don't think I saw Klopp happier in the summer than when we signed Endo.
No, it's beaming. The man was
So,
beaming. Everyone
No
saw
one behind the scenes, bro, with Klopp.
you see the behind the scenes footage when he went to Endo.
We need
your legs. We need your legs.
So for anyone who said, and again, everyone who knows me knows I'm fully FSG out. But for anyone blaming FSG or saying this is FSG's fault that we're signing Endo, if you don't rate the player or don't think he played well, that's not on FSG. FSG tried to convince Klopp not to sign him, and they convinced them to sign him.
Klopp,
I'm worried.
The owners convinced Klopp not to keep James Milner.
Yeah.
Milner even came out and said Klopp wanted him to stay.
But that being said, because of balance, I would be starting Endo as the 6.
Yeah.
Rather than Mac Allister, because again, I think you start Mac Allister in the 6, it offsets Szoboszlai, which then offsets what Trent potentially does, which offsets what Salah potentially does. If Salah's offset, then it offsets the whole front 3. I would rather go with balance. In the same way, when we had the COVID season, Klopp didn't want to play Reece Williams and Nat Phillips. The moment they both came into the team, magically we went on a 10-game unbeaten run and qualified for the Champions League. I think balance for me supersedes talent sometimes.
Balance wins football games.
Just to add before we move on, Jamie, as well, because of the way that we want to play now as well, I think that's what Klopp looked at and gone, do I really need, like, let's say the destroying type of a defensive midfielder, 6? We want to keep the ball more. And you look around the Premier League, how many teams are going to actually have more possession than us? Man City, maybe Brighton on their day if they're on it, maybe Arsenal. That's kind of really, really it. So we're going to have most of the ball. So when do we need a defensive midfielder, especially in the way that we want to play? You're talking about the gong-ho Liverpool team where we're just going to, everyone goes forward. Then you need that guy that's going to sit in there and stop everything else.
See, I disagree, bro. I think the fact that we are more possession-based means we do need more of a destroyer because teams will now hit us on the counter-attack. So in the past, and again, prime Fabinho in this team right now, and I'd put my chest out and I'd say we're going to win the league. But obviously not there because Fabinho was ticking both boxes in terms of destroyer and distribution. The moment we lose the ball, though, because we are so possession-based, the moment we lose the ball, loads of players are usually advanced, usually out of position because we're playing free-flowing football. That's where, for me, the DM steps in and goes, right, I'm shutting down this fire before it even escalates here and does what they have to do, whether it means you give away a silly foul, you win the ball back, you do something. That's where I worry.
Hey, that's what he did against Brentford, and people told me he won no duels, man. So
I thought he had a good game.
Yeah,
I thought he had a good game.
I always said that if Liverpool really wanted to destroy it, I think Liverpool would have gone and bought Polina from Fulham because it was easier to do.
I don't think we'd have spent that money though on that.
But I think Klopp don't rate Polina as a footballer, though. That's the difference. He wants someone who can play out, and get the ball moving forward and stuff like that. Because we very much underrate that part of Fabinho's game. Fabinho is excellent at that. That's why he's But we don't really play with a solo 6 anymore because Trent inverts. If Trent inverts and sits next to the DM, maybe that's why Klopp ain't looking for a 6. I don't know. It's a weird one, but let's talk about him. Trent, where are we ranking this guy?
Keep going.
B.
Come on, Cal, man. Slightly higher than that.
I don't think I can.
No, to be fair, he did cost that. To be fair, he did cost us 3 goals at the start of the season.
Yeah,
but
it's the inconsistency for me. And I keep on harping on about it, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, so apologies to anyone who's heard me say this probably for the 100th time. Trent is playing right back and visibly, in my opinion, doesn't want to play right back.
Well, he's even admitted
that for me is a big issue. Like when he's coming out and he's saying, I'm studying what Gerrard used to do because he was playing in midfield and that's what I'm transitioning to. Just play him in midfield. I know
have you heard his latest quotes? Have you heard his latest quote? Have you heard Trent's latest quotes?
No.
Saying he's watching midfielders.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, he said he's studying
midfielders now. So
that to me says everything I need to hear. And I keep on saying it. Liverpool have everything in place apart from a 6 to go 4-2.
Oh, that's it.
Jesus, is that what?
Go on, Ed.
Liverpool had everything in place. They weren't listening to Cal there. Sorry, Cal. I don't know why.
He had to pull the plug.
No, but I think he was going to every. Don't want to put words in his mouth, but 4-2-3-1. I think he was going to go with Cal.
Yeah.
Go on, Cal. There you go.
4-3-1. For me, I'm going a 6, Trent in a double pivot, Szoboszlai in a 10, and the rest of the team, you can do what you want. But I do believe we need a new right back because Trent just doesn't want to play there anymore. And what's that? When he's inverting, what that means is Konate is taking on double shifts.
Yeah.
And we've seen Konate doing double shifts is ruining the guy's body. Plus, it's also hampering Robbo's game because Robbo's not a centre back. He's a marauding left back. He's not able to do that. So when he tucks in, it means whoever's left wing is isolated. It means when Matip or Konate have the ball, they have no outlet because they can either go. All they can do is go backwards or hope to find Trent in the middle because he's not out wide. So it cuts off that angle as well. It also means the ball's usually slower getting to Salah or our front players because Trent is inverted as opposed to on the wing where you open up space in the middle. I actually think him playing inverted congests the team in the midfield, makes us play more narrow and more predictable. Plus, he's done his best work historically as a right back, as a wide right back. So again, I understand it because he's got the capabilities from his passing range and his IQ of the game, and we've seen Man City implement it, we've seen Arsenal implement it, but it's because we see other teams doing things well. It doesn't mean we have to copy.
Do you think that I'm looking at the team at the moment, and this is to do with Trent? Do you think at the moment we're trying to gather all the pieces that we need little by little, and then we're gonna then go into a shape and a way of playing maybe next season? And this season is kind of you just fill in here for now. We'll just try these things out, and then we'll just see what happens. But we need all the pieces because we're just gathering the pieces at the moment.
No, you could be 100% right, but I don't know. I mean, Gomez for me has done well this season, well enough to be a starting right back. I think if you're going to play Mac Allister to 6, playing him next to Trent without Trent having to then focus on being a right back as well as a centre midfielder, for me would make more sense because then you've got 2 of them in there rather than 1. And then Szoboszlai being a 10, you get him closer to Nunes, means Nunes got someone to play off of. Plus, he's got a foil as well. So if Nunes hasn't got the ball or Szoboszlai's got the ball, you know Szoboszlai is probably going to find him with the runs and the movement Nunes makes, or Jota. For me, the 4-2-3-1 is right there and it's just not being used.
Are you saying Trent could do what Thiago used to do at Bayern Munich?
I'm saying Trent could do what Xabi Alonso did next to Mascherano.
Right, that's disgusting. Let's move on. He could.
I think we are one player away from. I think we're one player away from replicating that midfield of Gerrard, Alonso, and Mascherano. We are Mascherano away. We've got a regen in Alonso with Trent, in my opinion, and we've got a regen in Gerrard in Szoboszlai. Not saying, before anyone cooks me, not saying those players are as good as the aforementioned, but you've got a dictator in there in Trent and a passing range in Trent who is, in my opinion, only rivaled by Alonso and Gerrard. You've got a 10 who can score, create, join the attack late, dribble in Szoboszlai. We just need a Mascherano now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Right, let's go. Let's get some of these done quickly now. Let's go Konate. Quick one from you guys with Konate.
C.
Yeah.
C. I think he's been all right.
He's consistent.
Yeah, it's been all right. Steady Eddie.
Yeah.
He still needs to improve, but he's still young, isn't he? He's 23, 24 now. So, he's still got years above him to go and improve.
My guy, Matip.
Put this man up, bro.
Hey.
I'm between A and B for Matip.
Nah, he's A, man. He's A.
And I think Matip is far a better defender than Konate right now.
Matip's been our second best centre back since Virgil's been
signed him. Since we signed him, basically.
Yes, since you signed him, yeah.
I mean, Matip never gets his flowers. He never does. But I think when Trent inverts, there he is. When Trent inverts, I'd rather Matip play that centre back position next to Trent than Konate, because I think we defend better when it's Virgil and Matip defending when Trent inverts than when it's Virgil and Konate, because Konate relies on his abilities of power, pace, and athleticism. And I think that's why he's getting muscle injuries, pulling across. Where, because Matip hasn't got that, he relies on his excellent defending and his positioning. And I think that's why we look defensively better when it's Matip and Virgil with Trent inverting. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but yeah.
Would you guys ever try Matip in the 6?
No.
Maybe if he's 26, but not
throw it out there. See what you guys thought.
Not now. Maybe when he was younger, but not now. But I like Virgil. I think Konate is going to be an excellent defender for the years to come. At the moment, he makes too many mistakes for me still.
Yeah.
He makes very needless fouls when he don't need to make them. And, and the injuries, they're a concern. We can't lie.
Yeah.
Do you know what? With the injuries, they can happen as, of a player. But I think you always need your centre-backs to be slightly different. I think Joel's the balance between Virgil and Ibu. Ibu's the young kid on the block. He's just aggressive. He just wants to bully everyone. Sometimes you need that. Yeah. Sometimes you need that. And then Virgil's just the calm one, man, the level-headed one that keeps them all in line and in check.
Yeah, Virgil's the mafia boss.
Yeah. Well, listen to me, guys.
Yeah.
He's been... Where are you guys ranking him?
Who's that, sir? A. Matip, yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's do his centre-back partner in.
Oh,
yeah. Throw him up there, yeah. Throw him up there.
Best in the world.
I watched the Football Terrace the other day and I couldn't believe my ears. I had to go and put candles in them and do that Chinese thing to get the wax. I didn't know if it was what I was listening to was correct. All of a sudden, all neutrals are like, all the rivals and that, and they're saying like Virgil's quietly the best centre back in the league again.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's called humble pie. You probably couldn't understand because they were talking with their mouth full, Jamie.
Yes.
Humble pie, bro. Van Disney, Aura Man. What was the other ones they were calling him? Steven Seagal. Talk on quiet now, bro.
Can I ask who started the Van Disney one? If it was our fan base, I'm annoyed. Was it our fan base?
No, it could never have been ours.
No, but I've seen it, Cal, man. People back up when they're having a go at our players. Man, jump in there, go, yeah, you're right. Van Disney. Nah, bro, you don't do that. We say that behind closed doors.
The Van Disney thing is a good little headline on a page, I would say. But I want to ask two things. One, when the hell did Virgil get his pace back at 33?
Jeez.
Like, I'm seeing it running.
He does wonders.
I'm seeing him running centre backs into wide areas like he used to.
Hey, Jamie, I don't know what it is about an armband, right? If you've ever been a captain of a football team,
it's different,
when you throw the armband on, new lungs, hamstrings are new. Listen, everything on your body is new. You run more, you pass more, you talk more, you do everything. He was doing all of these things anyway, but yeah, last season he dropped off slightly. But I thought the whole team as a whole was poor.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like individuals. It was just the whole team feeling sorry for yourself, injuries, whatever you want to put it down to. But this season, hey, listen, he threw the armband on, run. Enough said.
I've been dark. Look, the only captaincy I can say is I was captain of my dark team. So I don't know if that counts. But I've got a little bit loose.
The triceps might have been good in the biceps. That's forearm. When you have the
one arm workout.
Strong pause there.
No bias there, guys, but it's Virgil the best in the league right now.
Yeah.
Because everyone talks about William Saliba. I'm not a very good defender. But
Saliba has had 7 months max that he's been good. The other time he spent like 3 months injured.
I think Saliba makes more mistakes than people realise.
Yes,
and he never gets brought up on it. I actually think Gabriel was better, but that's me.
Yeah, he is. No. He makes Saliba look better because he does the dogged work. You know, like how Virgil's the calm one, but Matip would be running around challenging and fighting every forward. Where Virgil's the calm one, he just plays it out, and that's what Gabriel does.
For a while now, Arsenal's depth is a myth. I've been saying it for a while now. I watched the League Cup games. I watched Liverpool's depth and Arsenal's depth, and the only place Arsenal is stronger for me is the number 6 position in depth, and that's it.
If every team's trying to compare your player, if every team is trying to compare their players to yours, That's the marker in it. And if you're going to compare yourself to Virgil, you already know Virgil's the best. You're not going to compare him if he's not. So
let's get another superstar. Just put him in there straight away.
Yeah.
My problem. Sorry, Jamie. Go ahead.
You're not gonna mark him down, are you, bro?
He's one Premier League goal behind the robot, the alien that is Haaland, which is mad. I was watching Talk Sport the other day, and Darren Bent was putting out his stats. Did you see this? Salah's stats is he's been at Liverpool for goals. It was 44, 26, 27, 30, 31, 30, and 12 already this season. He never has an off year.
He doesn't.
And there's a lot of talk at the moment. A lot of people are debating it right now because they're bored already in international break, and they're saying who's the best Premier League winger of all time. There's some Man United fans who still can't put Salah above Ronaldo, but if Salah continues this way, Cal, is he the best Premier League winger of all time?
I didn't think you were going to answer me that question.
I'm asking dirty questions.
So you put me on the spot. I got answer.
Yeah. All right. So the Hazard comparisons, I think they need to respectfully stop. Respectfully, please, Chelsea fans, just stop. Like we as Liverpool fans respect Hazard because we saw what he did to us on numerous occasions, but we also saw the seasons where Hazard scored one league goal and nothing in the Champions League. And so again, respectfully, you praise Hazard. He's a Chelsea legend. You have that because he's a phenomenal footballer. But let's stop comparing him to Salah, because when we speak about longevity and all the rest of it, then I think the conversation gets really sketchy for Chelsea fans. I can't put him above Ronaldo yet. I don't know why. There's just something about Ronaldo where I can't put him above him yet. In the same way I can't put him above Thierry Henry yet either. Those two players for me changed. Ronaldo? I just think Ronaldo changed what it was to be a winger in this country. Before Ronaldo came for me, it was more a winger was I'll try and get to the byline and get a cross in, or sometimes I'll shoot. Ronaldo completely changed that and said, well, I can do the byline stuff if you want, but if you want, I'll start scoring goals as well. Like he transcended what it meant to be a winger, and we were all sitting there going, I think everyone forgets he was the first to sort of break the record of wingers scoring more than strikers. So, and what he was doing as well before he moved to Real Madrid was pretty crazy. He was winning games by himself, as does Salah. I think, unfortunately, in the same way Gerrard's tarred with this because he didn't win a Premier League title, because Salah's not won more than one Prem, more than one Champions League. That's what's always going to be labelled with him.
It's mad,
but when you break down what Salah is, Salah for me is a top 5 Premier League player. Well, a top 5 attacking player in the Premier League era. I don't even think that's debatable at this point.
Oh, no.
In fact, I'm going to go I'll stick top 5 because I think you can interchange a few of the players. Yeah. But he's like, and this is why I got so wound up in the summer when people were saying, oh, you know what, he's 30, what is he, 31, just cashing on him. I'm like, all right, so who do you go and get then?
There's no one.
Because again, I love Luis Diaz, but if you said, you can get 100 mil for Luis Diaz, I'd go, all right, you got Rafael Leao, you got Crava from Napoli. If you're really, really going to really try and push the boat and do something wild, Mbappe's not happy at PSG, you could give me names. No one could give me a name for Salah. They just kept on throwing his age out there, and I'm like, well, has he slowed down? No. We still take your girl if he takes his top off at the beach. Absolutely, yes. So it's like, what are we doing here? Like, is he still scoring and assisting for fun? Yes. Is he getting better as a player as he gets older? Yes. So why are we selling? Because of his age? Like, he's brilliant. He's our best attacker and has been since the day he joined the club.
He's the face of the Premier League as well for me as well.
Yeah, it should be
easily. Right, I'm gonna make En's a very happy man now. Darwin Núñez, En's.
I'm glad you didn't mention Mo, because after what Cal said, I might have brought the mood down, so it's fine.
That's why I moved quickly on.
And we're gonna have to speak offline about that one, bro.
Yeah, I've got valid reasons, but Darwin. Last season upset me because he split the fan base, and people just started calling him all the names under the sun. And I was like, guys, just give him time. Look, he's not the finished article. Yes, he is going to miss the mad chance here or there. Yes, we understand. He's not Haaland. I understand. But there's certain things that he offers us as a team, as a player as well. If you listen to the way that Anfield reacts to him, like he's the guy right now. He's the guy. We've got so many superstars. Mo ain't the guy when it comes to being at Anfield. It's Darwin Núñez. Darwin could be having a poor game. They'll be singing his name. And the game against Brentford, man, just showed. Scored 2 goals. Yes, it was offside, but his running power, the way he carried the ball, the way he was dropping deep. Even there was one moment, right? He ran past Mo to go and help Trent at right back. I couldn't believe it, bro. He sprinted past Mo. And I was like, Mo, that's your job to go and help him. Darwin saw it, thought, nah, let me go and help out my boy. But I still feel like people don't give him enough respect yet. And I guess it has to be earned. Yes, he does miss the mad chances here or there. But he's scoring goals and he's getting assists, man. What else do you want from your forward? What else do you need from him?
Do you know what I like about him? And this is what I've always said about Darwin Núñez. I think Darwin Núñez is actually quite a good footballer that people are starting to realise. He's actually
just unorthodox.
He's actually a pretty good footballer. He's just not the best finisher in the world. And that's okay, that's fair. All right. I've said it before. I don't know how many goals Darwin's meant to get a season for everyone to be happy. If Darwin gets 20 goals every season and he plays like the way he's playing right now, that's a decent footballer to me. You know, we don't play him as a player that the goals all go into. You know, you look at City, most of the goals go through Haaland. You know, they get sporadic goals elsewhere usually. But if you look at last season and this season, it's still mostly that everything falls through Haaland. We don't play like that for Darwin, you know. So I think he's been good this season. I think his game's has gone on a touch from last season. Yeah, I'm going to put him in a B because I can't put him in an A because there's them 2 glorious chances he's had this season that he missed.
Hey, listen, he won us the game against Newcastle. He was the reason why we beat Brentford. What other team can I throw in there? He won us the game to move us into the next round in the Carabao Cup. What other game can I use? No, I've got to think about games that he's performed in. When called upon, we've decided to play him left wing. You know what I mean? Not his natural position. Throw him out there, go and run around. I don't know, man.
I'm with you on B.
He goes and kills off Etihad when we're back off the international break.
Right.
Hey.
I'm going to give you Gakpo because I'm not going
to... No, let Kel.
No. You vetoed Salah, I'm vetoing Núñez. I'd have put Núñez at a B.
Yeah, B. I'm with
B. Fine.
I'm B with Darwin.
Gakpo.
It's been pretty poor this season.
Is it harsh of me to put him in D?
No, because I think he's been pretty poor.
But I'll caveat that. Again, I don't think that's all his fault because he's been asked to play as a number 8, as a number 10, as a false 9, as a left winger. He's had no structure or consistency. The one thing I will say that frustrates me a lot with Gakpo, he really does ghost in games sometimes. Like you'll just not see him do anything for like 25 minutes and you'll just be like, bro, why are you not involved in the game? Like, there's no excuse for a 25-minute stretch to go by. And we're like, what's Gakpo done? What's he doing? So, for me, it's a D at the moment. I don't think I can put him in the same category as Mac Allister and Konate. I think they both contributed and done more for the team.
Yeah, I think Gakpo's had a really poor start to the season. But we revisit this in May. He could have had tremendous second half.
I just don't know what his role is in the team at this point.
Do you know what I said? I said this last season, and I said we keep playing him out of position, and I really believe he'll lose his identity, and that's what's happening because now he doesn't know as a player. You know, if you go, right, I'm a winger, I'll focus on what I need to do. He was a winger. If you're the false 9 in the team, it was like everything went through him, and he will turn and create. That's no longer because Núñez has obviously stepped up, which is fine. And then you think, all right, put him in the 8, and you're like, defensively, he wasn't sound, but carrying the ball, he was really good. But now you're looking at him, you're like, what's your role and what do you do? And even him now is like, as a player, he's now confused, and I don't blame him.
No.
That one, I think Klopp and the rest of the coaching staff has to hold. I feel like they've let him down slightly until we find the role for him again. I think this is what's going to continue happening.
I've been saying this for a while, as you both know. I actually think Gakpo's going to be a midfielder eventually. Klopp plays him there far too much, and I think Cal said this as well.
I don't want him in midfield though.
I think Klopp's looking at him as maybe a future midfielder. I really do.
To be fair though, Jamie, with that one, Klopp said the only reason why he was playing him there is because we never had the bodies, and now we do. Yeah. Excuse me. That's why he'll play more as a forward. I think he'll be able to be flexible and play in there if we need him, but not when we have Curtis, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Endo, Mac Allister. I think, man. But I just feel like he's lost his identity a bit, and that's the issue.
Right, a man who's got no identity problems. One Jota.
Yeah, one chance, one shot, one finish.
Let's do this one quickly. Our most clinical finisher. I'm going A for Jota. Our most clinical finisher, in my opinion.
In my opinion, he should be the starting striker for us.
See, I think he's better as a left winger, personally. The last few games, Jota's cooked on that left-hand side. We can't lie.
I just think he's that good that he can play across the front three and still.
All my gunmen on the pitch. I said this to you, Cal, didn't I? Jota, Darwin, Salah.
That's
for
the
me.
problem.
That's
you know the problem is the problem in the team at the moment is Nunes, and it's not a bad problem. It's a great problem.
I don't think that's a problem.
Not a bad, but I mean, like for Jota to get the number 9, you have to take you have to take Darwin out. Fans ain't gonna have that as well.
It's horses for causes, though. And I've said this. If for me, and I hope this doesn't come across disrespectful because I really don't want it to, but I know how some people take it. But respectfully, I can't appease those people who are going to take it that way. Off the bench, I don't think we have a more impactful player than Darwin Núñez. Off the bench, when he starts, obviously he's impactful as well. If I had to play the Champions League final tomorrow, I would start Diogo Jota because I believe if we get one shot, he's more likely to score it than anyone else in the team. However, if he's not having a good game and we need to bring someone else on, Darwin is that guy. Darwin off the bench is probably one of the most dangerous players in the world.
I think Darwin wins you the game off the bench in a Champions League final, where Jota could win you the game being on the pitch. I see what you're saying. And there's nothing wrong with that because, as I said,
but I would still start Núñez in games.
We've been screaming for squad depth for years.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we're getting it. All I ever see people moan about it. It makes no sense.
Cal, by the way, you was wrong what you did to Drifty and Matt when you gave them the scenarios. And I was like, I can see what he's doing there because I was watching it going, don't answer these questions, boys. Don't answer these. Right, guys. I think Drifty clocked on really quickly. Like, I see what you're trying to do.
Right, Gravenberch, guys, quickly.
B.
I think Gravenberch will end up being our signing of the season.
Cold.
I think he's still finding his feet.
Yeah, I said he's going to take someone's position. Whose it is, I don't know, but he's definitely going to take someone's position.
He's going to take Mac Allister's before Mac Allister's even had a chance to get the position.
Right, Tsimikas.
Hey, wait. Take our time with this one, please. Don't do it.
It's D.
I've dropped him in C.
Do you know what? If you're going to put him in C,
by the way, but he's suffering.
I feel like seeing Mac Allister there, I feel like he has to either move up one or you have to drop Tsimikas one down. I think Mac Allister has offered us more than what.
We said this earlier. We weren't too sure in the on the Mac Allister situation.
Yeah, I think that those lot there's
that makes more sense, don't it?
I think Tsimikas hasn't been as good as Konate, man. I hate this, and I wouldn't move Konate up.
Yeah,
no.
I was one of anyone who knows me knows how much I've been raving about Tsimikas since we signed him. He ain't been good this season.
Was Sunday's game his best game this season?
Yes.
Do you know what it is as well? I like to do it game by game, and I realize people come when they go and watch the games, they go in with agendas, right? The first half against Brentford, people said he was shit. I don't think he was bad. I just felt he was trying to grow into the game, and he just wasn't fighting. It wasn't clicking. But then when it did, he was cold. But people just dislike the guy, man. He's not Robinson.
Yeah,
He's not going to do what Robbo does. He's going to do what he does.
yeah.
Hey,
Let's
listen
put
to assist,
Robbo,
man.
because Robbo's out of injury. It's hard to rate him. But where would you put Robbo?
I'd go B for Robbo.
I thought Robbo started the season really well.
Yeah, he did. He was decent. Had some
Mm.
stinkers, but on the whole, I think a B's fair.
Was
Yeah,
that the
he got
teething
that.
issues with obviously the new shape and stuff?
Yeah.
You'd say.
All right, here's one for you guys. Gerald Kwanzaa.
Put him in S.
A. Yeah. oh, I'm actually serious.
Yeah, no, I'm being serious, bro.
Yeah. A
You
for
want him
me.
in S?
No.
listen.
A
Tell
for
me,
me.
no. Guys, tell me a bad game he's had.
Gerald Kwanzaa's been disgustingly good.
No, tell me a bad game he's had.
I don't think
On Saturday, on Sunday, he played 7 minutes and he was superb.
Right back. Just
I
locked
gave him
it
like
up.
7 out of 10 for a 7-minute display. It's like, what are we doing here?
Honestly, went S plus.
Gerald Kwanzaa is the reason Liverpool won't buy a centre back in the summer. By the
Yeah,
way.
no, we won't now.
We
I think
still
we will,
do.
but it's delayed it.
Yeah,
It's delayed it.
he's delayed it massively. I think we get a left back and a right back. Personally, I don't think we get centre back.
What do you think he
signs
needs?
a new deal. Virgil goes again.
Like,
United goes
obviously,
again.
It's a
Gomez
small
and
sample
Kwanzaa.
size, but what do you think he needs, guys? Gerald Kwanzaa.
I don't know because he's quick. He seems to have footballing IQ.
Yeah. It's just experience. It's
It's
just
just
more
experience, isn't it?
To just play games.
Yeah.
Oh man, means we might not sign one then.
I think we will. I think we'll sign us a left-footed centre back who can cover left back.
Is that what more of a preference than what you think we'll get?
It's more hope. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
I'm putting it out of the universe and hoping it sticks.
That's it. Let's hope
Luis
so.
Diaz.
Why
B
does he
for me.
split the fan base so much? By the way,
I have no idea.
He does.
It-
I'm split with him, by the way. But
Yeah, I know.
I've
But
heard
you
Jamie, man.
justify
I
why you're
watch your
splitting,
streams.
Jay.
I prefer Jota over him. I can't lie. It's just
No,
my
but here's
opinion.
the thing, Jay. You're split with him, but you justify why you're split.
Yeah.
Whereas most people don't. That's where I have
No.
the issue. I'd go B for Diaz.
I think he started the season well. Obviously, he can't help the certain things that have happened in his life
Yeah.
where he hasn't played games and that. So, yeah. Diaz is
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Joey G, is he arguably been Liverpool's third best defender this season?
Hey, can the people in the chat that's been disrespecting him, please just put your hands up and respect him, please. Just do it. Said the chat.
Own it.
Carl.
I have to own it like a man. I was not happy with Joey G, and I went as far as saying if he wasn't homegrown, I'd have cashed in on him. I apologize, Joseph Gomez. I apologize.
Since the Newcastle game when he came in as a substitute in that game, I don't think he's put much of a foot wrong. I think his worst performance is when he came on against Brighton.
No, Wolves' first half was bad.
And the Wolves, yeah.
Yeah,
Wolves
man.
Neto
Neto was moving mad still.
Yeah.
Neto
He was a bit all over the shop, weren't he?
Hey, Klopp had to
the
change the whole system.
second half of that game, everyone won't acknowledge it. The second half of that game,
Oh, he
he
patted up.
knocked it up.
Yeah.
A
Game
for
B,
me for Joey
B.
G.
A.
Yeah.
I think A man, he hasn't really put a foot wrong, to be fair, man.
Oh, fair enough. I can't argue that. Who have we got left? Thiago's missing in action. Yeah, I can't rank them. Well, I can't really rank McConnell.
Doak, you can give Doak a little rating.
I don't want to give McConnell a rating, so I have to put him there, and that's not fair.
Oh, is that McConnell? Sorry, I thought that was
Yeah.
Doak. My bad.
Yeah, I ain't got Doak on here for some reason. I don't know why. What would you give Ben Doak, guys? I totally forgot about Ben Doak.
I'd go C for Ben Doak. I keep the same energy. Ben Doak needs a loan move. And the one thing I hate about our fan base is when we go overboard on a player and put too much pressure on them. That's exactly what was happening in the summer. And I kept on saying it. I was like, you stop putting all this pressure on this kid. He's not even played a 90-minute full game for the first team. And everyone's saying, yeah, we don't need to buy a winger because we've got Ben Doak. Him and Salah can do it. Like, it's mad. Like, no other team does this like Liverpool fans. Like, I don't get why we do this. That you can see very good parts of his game, but you could also see deficiencies as well. But it just chose to be ignored. Like, if I'm not mistaken, he hasn't registered a goal for Liverpool, maybe not even an assist.
yet.
But you're saying you want him to be the person that steps in if Salah gets an injury or a suspension. Or like, that's wild to me. Send him on loan like we did with Harvey Elliott. Let him get some experience. Let him come back, grown from the loan, and then we judge him from there. But what we've done with him this season, for me, is pretty negligent.
Yeah.
Quick one. I heard Steph Vandenberg is having a great season as well, apparently.
Yeah, I don't think he'll. I think he'll just keep getting loan deals and go with the better clubs till we get a good market value for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Or does a club think he could be an answer?
Saying that, look, Kwanzaa was at Bristol Rovers last season, wasn't he?
No, but Kwanzaa was a beast in there.
But he was always looked at as someone special, weren't he? That was the difference.
Yeah.
Right, guys, there is our player ratings for the season so far, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments below after the video. Tell us where we were probably wrong.
We're never wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking at that compared to last season, it's definitely an upgrade. And players like Kanate in a C, and Gakpo in a D. Hopefully they improve and they keep improving. Yeah, a Klopp rating. What did everyone give Klopp?
B.
It's got to be S, ain't it?
I'm going to give him an A.
Sorry, I forgot about the S tier. Yeah, A.
I feel like last season, what I personally asked for was him to be a bit more flexible in terms of how he wants to play. Obviously, rotate the team, which he's doing it now, and just trusting the other players, because I felt like he just kept using the same players. I feel like this season he's trusting different players and they're trying different things. When it's not working, he's making changes early. And let's use the Wolves game for an example. He realized in the first half, Neto's having too much space and he's cooking him. He changed it and allowed us to play wing backs, which then nullified their wing backs, then stopped the supply to Neto, and then that just stopped them attacking down that left and right hand side. So I feel like he's been good, man, this season. I'll give him an A.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. So, guys, that is it. That is our video done. Thank you very much for everyone joining us. Ends, what have you got coming up, man? Where people find you?
I haven't got nothing scheduled, bro. I might do something tomorrow. I don't know. Work comes first at the moment these days, but sure I'll put something together. There's a video thinking to do, man, while the international break is on as well. Probably European best 11, maybe world best 11. See what we think at the moment. That'll be a good video to kind of chop up.
Yeah, I'll get on that.
I need to get the logistics right for that one and then set it up.
Big up Josh in the comments. Big up to everyone in the comments. Thank you for joining us. Guys, we're going to go over to Cal's channel now, not Coppish Sanson Show. We're going to be reviewing UFC from last weekend. This video is going to be redirected. So if everyone stays where they are, you'll be directed straight to some good UFC review show right now between me, Luke, and Cal. So make sure you'll join us over there right now, guys. But guys, thank you very much for joining us. We do appreciate it. Till next time, stay safe. Bye-bye for now.
Peace.